Washington, State of Michigan, is now back in session. Honorable Judge Simpson to preside.
You may be seated. Okay. Mr. Meyer, still on the stand. Do we have a number?
Yes, we have our number.
Okay. That's fair enough. All right. What is this is for the two buildings?
Yeah, for the two buildings, we have come up with $52,666.
52.
$666.
How does,
As far as that is a little more than what I actually think it is, but I also agree.
that I didn't expect. Okay. So that 52.6. All right.
And if we could break it down, how we got that number.
Sure.
We have 200. So what we did was we took the total fines and that we tallied, we divided it by 18 and then we multiplied that by 2. So the total fines that we had were, they were 474,000.
474,000 for the total fines.
And then we multiplied that by 2, and that's how we got the 52,666. But again, that doesn't include any late fees that the city is spending on assessing. So again, that's
I got you.
And it's also important to note, Your Honor, that the property management team and the landlord have tried to pay some of these fines. They've submitted checks, and I believe to the tune of $50,000 to the city to try and bring some of this down, but the checks have been rejected and returned because there's been some sort of issue internally with the city where they say that there are late fees assessed, and so they're considering it a partial payment. So again, this late fee issue with the city, we can't calculate that, so we try to pay, it gets rejected, and then the city contends that we've paid nothing and they won't come out and do any inspection. So, you know, that's something that the court should know as well.
Okay. What was your number?
So I had not gotten to all of the enforcement cases yet. I had gotten to the inspections though, which I was at $12,500 for those two buildings for the inspections that has gone out. And then I see, I was trying to go through, I see 40 enforcement cases. I want to say probably 36 of them are for, we had 80 total enforcement cases on these two buildings. Not all of them are for this round, so I was looking at, I was trying to come up with the actual enforcement number cases.
Okay.
But,
all right, so let me ask this. Permit fees are going to be what the permit fees are. So I'm not, I mean, and I get that can change, but that number is going to be what that number is. What, in the simplest manner, how are the late fees derived?
when an invoice is over 30 days, which almost all of these are, there's a 20% fee on it
20%?
total. So there's not 20% per month, it's just 20%.
This 52 becomes 62 or thereabout, 64.
Depending on when, yes, this is for all intents and purposes, yes.
Well, if you're saying that all of them are over 30 days, and that's when the 20% hits, right? Then if they're at 52,666, then I take 20% and that goes on top.
So one of the inspections happened on the 2nd of April, and the other the 2nd of May. Then they will not be charged at 20%. Some of these fees might already have the 20% on them. I do want to say that when the checks that we have received in our office.
Quick question for you. Should a city be allowed to reject a $10,000 check over technicalities like where the money should be applied? Or should they take the cash and sort it out later? Let me know what you think.
for payment of some of these fees. We get a Arbor 1 and a check for $10,000 that is dated for February when we get it in April. And so it is our practice when a check is predated to, and the actual mail is postmarked that day or the day before, it is our policy to return predated checks or post, I forget exactly. It is dated for a month and a half, 2 months earlier.
I assume and make some adjustment, wherever it is, that I take I'm going to take, if I take their number, well, let me ask this before I do anything. Was it your understanding of that it was the 20% council, or what were you?
I was not aware. I just know that there were late fees that were to be assessed by the city, and we didn't know what that number was. So.
Is that because of its rolling nature, or, I mean,
I think a compromise.
or did you, let me ask it this way. Did you know it was 20%?
I didn't know it was.
I'm going to ask why, but don't answer that. Did you tell them it was 20%?
It's been 20% for over the past 10 years, probably 20 years.
Okay, but, right, but did they know it was 20%? I mean,
They have never spoke to me about this.
okay.
Some of these late fees are coming from the refusal to accept the checks as well, which obviously we take issue with. So it's a variety of things at play here.
Okay. So gave you a check. The date is February. You get the check in April, and the city says we won't take the check.
Well, so there's 18 buildings, and we don't know what buildings they want to apply this $10,000 to, and every building is separated out.
Right. But one could take the check and deposit it, and then say to them, how do you want me to apply this?
So we ask that all checks come in with how that check is to be applied.
This speaks to a pattern of the issues that we're having with the city here.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I don't know that you want to go there. All right. Because I spent 3 years dealing with your client. So there's patterns all over the place here. So, Mr. Mayor, if the city were to get today a check for $52,666, would they take? What if I ordered you to take it?
No,
I mean,
it is hard to know what people want to be applied to what building if they do not tell us what building. And if we knew this was to be applied to buildings 721 Clark and 720 Green, that would be helpful. Well, without knowing the buildings that it needs to be applied to.
666. Give me 20%. And what do I get? No, it's fine. I told council I don't do math, and she still is trying to make me.
$10,533.20.
$10,533 and how many cents?
20.
All right. So while we sit here in this gridlock, the owners are indicating to me that there are 2 buildings that within the very near future could be inspected, potentially then get COs, and then potentially house some of these individuals. That's what I'm hearing. Am I correct, Council?
Correct.
All right. So the city is just concerned because they need to make sure this is applied right and don't know what to apply it to.
Well, and
Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. So let me answer this just so we have some. If I told the owners to take whatever this adds to 53 something and said, you deposit that into court escrow. If they did that, would you then do the inspections on these two buildings?
When all of the building permits have been pulled. Yes.
Okay, I know. But they're going to pull the permit to do the work, right? Am I correct, Council?
Yes.
And
Okay.
during recess, we got more information on the permits. And for these two buildings.
I can't leave you alone for a minute, can I? No, go ahead. What?
For 721 West Clark and 720 Green, Mr. Myers testified about a boiler letter issue, and that could be holding up the process. The boiler letter has been submitted several times by my client. It's been rejected by the city. So that's holding it up, but it's not
Why was it rejected?
there.
Do you know anything about that?
So, our building department manager would be the best one to speak on that. I believe he is here.
This is a huge shift. The judge wants the owners to put the money into court escrow. Translation: the court holds the cash, everyone stops arguing about who refused what, and the city can finally perform inspections.
Okay.
I'm just speaking to what Mr. Myers testified as.
No, I got you.
And then, we're dealing with issues with permits. No more permits need to be pulled on this building, is the information that I've had.
You had what?
Issues that are right now.
Say that first word again.
No more permits need to be pulled on these two buildings. They are dealing with open permits that need to be finalized. And so the disputes regarding those permits are, one, the final inspections have not been scheduled. But again, we're asking for the inspection of the CFC to be moved up. We still have time in between now and 10 to get the final inspection. The permits have been pulled, you just haven't been finalized. So you have to schedule the final inspection with the city. And then lastly, they're dealing with disputes regarding, like Mr. Myers said, the cost submitted with some of the permits. So, the property management team is submitting the cost saying it's going to cost this much. The city is saying, oh, it should cost more. So they're dealing with those kind of disputes. But other than that, there are no more permits need to be pulled for these two buildings.
Would the city agree with that they don't need any more permits, but it's going to be the adjustment of the work as well as,
No, the city would not agree with that. We still are seeing in our inspection report several areas of damaged drywall, and many units that have no permits pulled. I'm looking at 721 Clark Road right now. There are 18 permits pulled of several ways, but it looks like the vast majority of the building permits, there's still, I believe, 4 or 5 units that haven't even filed, haven't even done that.
okay, do they know what permits you have missing?
So we have in our reports where there's damaged drywall that would need to be replaced.
Okay, but I know.
Yes.
Has there been any discussion whatsoever that you're still missing these permits? And in terms of the work we see that needs to be done, have you told them that?
So when we have talked with the property management in the past, it is never about these two buildings specifically outside of when we did the inspections.
Okay. All right, but right now, I'm going to deal with these two buildings because that at least is some progress. Because what I'm hearing from the owners is that's something that they can get done and may be done. So if you were to look at your list, could you tell them what permits are missing from your perspective? I realize they might have a very different view of whether or not.
I'm going through this building specifically, 721 Clark. It appears that for unit 102, we have in our report that they have pulled a 1 mechanical permit. It appears in our inspection that the half bathroom ceiling needs to be repaired, require a permit. In unit 101, they have a permit for the drywall and the bathroom ceiling, but in our report, the dining room ceiling also needs to be repaired. So that permit would need to be expanded for unit 210.
Okay, but you could, certainly you could go through all those. The problem I'm having is they don't know that, other than hearing it now.
They have the report that we gave where it talks about repairing.
I know, you told me that. But at some point, you should be able to tell them, these are the permits we see that you need, right?
Yes.
And then if there can be, don't know, but let's say there is agreement that these permits are needed,
Yes.
right? Then they would know what permits they need to pull to make this inspection happen and hopefully get a CO on this building.
So they asked for that meeting, and what I requested from them is to put it in writing so we can have it all in writing, because we go
Put what in writing?
put the questions they have, and we would reply with the permits that we felt that they needed in that question. We have yet to get that from the manager.
So here's the deal. Because I'm here anyway. So apparently I'll be that conduit of getting these things answered, because this makes no sense to me. I understand you want certain things in writing. I understand that they may want certain things in writing, but I just, how many units are in these buildings?
48
48 total.
for both of them.
Total. 24 a building, right? So right now there's, in my mind, there's an opportunity within the very near future to have 48 units back online that can house people. That, folks, that's how I'm looking at this. I've got people staying in hotels and I think it's necessary. I've got all of these folks all around displaced. And I've got an opportunity to get 48 units back online. Everybody has to sit here all day. We're going to find a way to get a mechanism by which that's going to happen, because it's going to benefit everybody. It's going to benefit the owners. It's going to benefit the city if those 48 units come back online. Some of this stuff that I'm hearing, kind word that my mother might appreciate, because the ones that are immediately coming, she would not. But a lot of this is petty. I just need to know what permits the city needs, sees these owners as having to get. And then we can they can either agree to it, or if I have to make a decision on it, I'll make a decision. And then there is at least a clear road by which that can happen. I at least have the fees and what may be the penalty and in terms of that amount. But now we've got to narrow down these permits. What were you going to say? No, see, I'm going to tell you what, Council.
Notice what's happening. The judge is done with the back and forth. She wants a list of permits, a clear path, and 48 units back online so displaced tenants can go home. This next part sets up the whole showdown.
You got too much of a towel. Like, you look at me, you kind of smile, and then something's going to come out that's going to throw my plan all through everywhere. I'm just letting you know what I think about you. Go ahead.
If you insist, Your Honor, I will say something.
If I insist, very good. Go ahead.
We welcome the idea of a list from the city. I think a part of the issue on our end as well is that we've been dealing with some peculiar requests for permits. We're dealing with fixing a bath fixture and plumbing fixture and electrical filters, where if you did that at your own home, you wouldn't have to pull a permit for that.
Because it's my own home. That's why. But this isn't. So, no, I hear you. And I don't live in the city, so.
And some of these are common things that, the on the grounds can be. So it's,
I know. I hear you, and that I think gets into the basic dispute that Mr. Friedman brought up as to these are things that customarily would not require a permit. Okay? I will also tell you, however, so that you know from my perspective where some of this comes from. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'll just leave it. So I get that. But I can't even get to the point of trying to resolve any of that if I don't know what permits are being requested and which ones you would then see as ones that are necessary. I've got to have or something to look at to say, okay, you're right. I don't know why a permit's necessary. Okay. So, Mr. Friedman, I'm going to take a recess. That is a scheduled recess. How long will we? In that one. Scan real quick, because I know Mr. Friedman has to go. Mr. Friedman, do you, and I know your counsel record, do you mind if because I want, legal services is here. They have an interest in trying to get at least these 48 online and everything. And I'd like to try to deal with the parties to try to see if we can at least get some progress on that issue. So you don't have a problem if you're not here.
Do not.
Why are you looking so happy about it? I'm kidding. What'd you say?
I was just going to suggest it.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to stand and read. Did she give you? Can you find out from Ann what we scheduled this, built this in? Just ask her what time we're breaking. Okay. So we'll read, ending at 10:30 and till 1. Get her out here. I don't think that's right. I guess it is 1 o'clock, and then we'll come back. But in the interim, while we'll be off the record, well, I'm going to recess to that time, but we're going to be working on trying to get this part done. And then whatever we have to do, okay?
Remember scheduled for this afternoon. Do we have a time for that set?
Oh, God, yes. I mean, yes, I got, yes, there are. So what I've done is these cases are the summary proceedings. They're then what I'm calling the affirmative complaints that have been filed. And I was looking at dealing with that in the afternoon. I thought mixing them at this point would not have been a good idea. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do in the interim. Will it take you to come up with what permits you see for these two buildings, Mr. Moore?
I think we can do it by, sorry, can I ask?
Sure. You're looking.
Our building permit, I might be the one going to
Yeah, hour or so.
All right. Do you have a list of those building permits? Well, you've said there are building permits. You just need the final on them, right?
Correct. So
And that's where you guys are.
they need to be final, or there's the discrepancy in the amount.